certified real.
Hey, I'm a little excited.
You heard it here first. Certified real. Airborne.
You are now listening to Real Talk Podcast.
This is certified.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Terrell, and we back again with another episode of Real Talk Podcast. We got the usual suspects in the building. We got X, we got Gills, we got Reggie. Today we're back with another movie review. Today we're doing something real dope. We're doing a movie review for The Harder They Fall. This was a Netflix exclusive directed by Jeymes Samuel. This was brought to you by the Overbrook Entertainment production company, which is owned by Will Smith. This was also executive produced by Jay-Z. Also written by Jeymes Samuel. He also did the music. There's a lot of heavy hitters on the production side. And then on the casting side, we got Zazie Beetz, Idris Elba, Jonathan Majors, Regina King, Lakeith Stanfield, Damon Wayans Jr. The list goes on and on. Delroy Lindo. Man, this is a Black Western, guys. How do you guys feel about a Black Western? I don't feel like I've seen that too much. And this coming out was kind of refreshing for me to see. So what do you guys feel about that?
It makes so much sense. I don't know why we haven't seen so much more of this, especially when you're thinking about the time period, coming from like after Civil War.
You know why?
That kind of thing. I mean, yeah, but it just.
He always want to do that too, right? Like,
I'm just saying. Like it should have been done. But no, yeah, you're right. It's so refreshing to see, especially not just from a Black Western from a point of view, but just like Westerns in general. It's a dying genre. Like you haven't seen too many of them like in the big screen. And so this was great to see.
What about you?
I agree. I think it's refreshing to see because Cowboys started out of Black culture. You know what I'm saying? And just to be able to finally see Black culture on the screen is, I think, finally is like that refreshing type feeling. And to know that it's Black produced, it's Black directed, Black, everything is Black makes it even better.
What about you, Reggie?
I would say that I'm not gonna use the same words I use. I'm gonna say that it was.
You're not gonna say refreshing? Come on, bro. Join the club.
And now I forgot the word I was gonna use, but basically, it was dope because like X was saying about how the whole Western theme pretty much it came out of Black culture. So to see it on the big screen again, and then with the names of today, it's just like wow. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like it's the Black version of Star Wars for like the way people went crazy for Star Wars. Like I feel like Black people should go crazy for this because, like you said, like you just named Terrell. You named like what four actors, and you missed like a whole bunch. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, the when X showed me the trailer for this, like for the first time, I was going crazy. I'm like, what? Jonathan Majors and Lakeith and Idris Elba?
Right.
I was like,
it just kept going. It kept going and going. I was like, this don't make no sense. Right. The trailer was hard.
But I feel like that plays into the idea of like what we were saying, right? Like that they all signed up for this project knowing how crazy this would be if, like you mentioned, this could be like a whole universe. Because I think me and Terrell talked about this. Like, you literally can make this into some like MCU universe type feel because they use real actual cowboys from that it's they have stories and they're actual people. They're not just characters somebody created off the top of their head, right? So you could dive in, and then by getting these prominent actors, they can self-sustain and hold their own film, right? So like if we want to do a movie on Rufus Buck, like Idris Elba could do that, right? Like we're not worried about if he can have the draw, if he could bring people into the audience. Regina King, Lakeith, Jonathan Majors, like they all, even from the smallest character, Dewanda Wise, who played Nat Love's mother, who had that small part. You know what I'm saying? Even that could be a film within itself. So
yeah,
that's
and
why I was excited.
Yeah, you look at it from the production standpoint, they set it up so well because every character had this sort of like mystery to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you saw them, like for example, if you look at Rufus Buck, you know, he's being let out of that cage on the train and he's just sitting there. He's inhaling, exhaling. You're kind of
little Matrix thing in the background.
You're kind of wondering like what this dude kind of went through.
That fresh air. That's what it seemed like.
Yeah, and then even Lakeith, he kind of just popped in there, but like he just came on the train, was like, okay, ladies and gentlemen, you're about to experience some very violent individuals. I'm like, okay, this dude's crazy.
I wanna talk about that real quick because I think this is a credit to the writing, right? Like I think
you're gonna say what I think you're gonna say. Like
his ability to write strong characters that they can be themselves, and because every time they talk, they took control of the screen. Right, like even with when you have Lakeith, Idris Elba, and Regina King in the same scene on the screen at the same time, and it's like they're able to, when Lakeith speaks, he dominates the screen. When Idris Elba speaks, he dominates the screen. When Regina King is speaking, she's dominating the screen. I think that's incredible to be able to do. On top of, you don't see that a lot. Like you don't see that in Hollywood. People don't want to share the screen. We see it all the time. Vin Diesel and The Rock ain't want to share the screen. Like we see it all the time. That happens. Even in Westerns with Clint Eastwood, he didn't want to share the screen. You know what I'm saying? So for them to be able to do that is incredible.
That's a credit to the actors too. Like these guys are masters of their craft. Mm-hmm. Like and they're all at different points of their careers, but. Just like you said with the writing, like I have to give kudos to Jeymes Samuel and Boaz Yazkin. He did a director for Remember the Titans, right? Mm-hmm. Like I didn't know he helped screenwrite, but the story is still by Jeymes, right? So the way that every single character was introduced, like was crazy. So everybody had a completely different introduction, and everybody's introduction was ridiculous. And no two interjected, even if they got introduced right next to each other. Mm-hmm. Like just like Regina King got introduced right next to Lakeith, it was still two different things.
Right.
And at the same time, yeah, go ahead.
I wrote that in my notes that they had like Nat Love and Idris Elba has to go down as the best intros to a character ever in film. Like just the slow-mo of shooting the dude with the scorpion tattoo on his hand. The way they're shooting as Idris Elba's walking, like that has to be one of the top three. It has to be. I can't even think of an intro that's better to a character.
Cherokee Bill's introduction was fire too.
Yeah. The thing is, they set it up so well because if you look at the first scene where they was killing them dudes or whatever, he was like, "Oh, you're not faster than Cherokee Bill. I heard that he could take you down before you even had a chance to draw your weapon." And I'm like, "Oh, word!"
It's so crazy. Like just to talk about that, it's so crazy because the whole movie they just hinting at how Cherokee Bill literally cheats. You know what I'm saying? Like to him, it's not cheating, but to the honest of the game, it's cheating. But they hint you to that the whole entire film. So then when it actually happens, and if you pay attention, you can put it together. And you're like, wow, the whole time. Like, but you don't think he's a cheater, right? Like you don't think that he's cheating the game, because he does it the whole time. Even his intro when he's like he goes to fight the white dude and he just bends down and cut up his legs. Like, he literally cheats. Like he's cheating.
But that whole gang don't fight fair. That whole gang don't fight.
Yeah, they don't. That's what I'm saying though.
Every time they get hit, like, all right, give me weave the shot.
See, and that's the balance that you need between the protagonist and the antagonist. The protagonist, they want to play fair, they want to play nice. The antagonist, they want to, just do what they got to do to survive.
But I agree with that on Cherokee Bill though. Like,
I agree with that. I agree with what you're saying, Terrell, real quick, but I think you needed it in this film because they're both outlaws. I wanted to dive into like.
Let's talk about that too.
We can talk about that now. I thought this might be the soundtrack I've ever heard attached to a film, especially.
You said the best.
The best soundtrack I've heard.
I wouldn't
say
that.
a little bit. Let's let it
I
breathe.
wouldn't say that.
Nah. This is the
Did you
best
listen to
soundtrack.
it?
The best
Did you listen
soundtrack
to
I've
it,
heard.
Gills?
I'm not saying
It's the best.
to me, it's definitely up there, but it's not the best in my opinion. I don't think it's the best.
Yeah,
but I love the soundtrack though.
I gotta let it breathe a little bit more before
So the soundtrack is fire. Like it's real.
Soundtrack is fire.
Soundtrack
is fire.
Like the reason why I like it so much is that what they did was they took traditional Western type of sounds and they combined it with
They blackified it.
They basically threw some black. They seasoned it a little bit. So
they did more than a little bit seasoning on that motherfucker.
All right. They seasoned it. They put it in the oven at 350. They cooked it up. You know what I'm saying? They grilled it, whatever they did. Everything
so they basically like I made it like how Haitians make chicken. Word.
Exactly. That's what they did to it.
But this is why I think it's the best. It's like we never. It's rare that we get an opportunity to have no limitations, right? Like we see Black movies where you could tell like certain things just felt forced. Like Safety, like the soundtrack, the music was fire, but it felt forced. You know what I'm saying? Or you have
season 3.
We're 2 seasons removed from that, man.
It's never gonna stop. Or
you have the example where you got movies where they're not allowed to do too much Black music, right? Like, or they got to use that certain type of Black music, right? So to sit down and give somebody the realm, like, yo, create. No limitations, and then to have this product, to me, that has to be the best.
No, I'm with it. I like the fact that on the soundtrack they use a lot of reggae. I don't know if you guys know, but when I say y'all, I mean the audience. But reggae has a lot of heavy cowboy influences. Like the original reggae was very like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Cowboy infused. I don't know how to explain it correctly, but if you like, I was reading I had got this this thing was like 16 CDs, but it's basically the history of reggae. And like the earlier reggae was just like I said, the Cowboys of Jamaica, that's what they listened to. That old school roots, like grassroots, like what the hell is this? That reggae, that's what them niggas listened to back then.
It fits surprisingly well. Like I would have never put that together.
Nah, as soon as I heard it, I was like, that was genius.
He's got a different brain. Like because he's in charge. He's in charge not of only the film, he's in charge of the music too. Like dude is not getting. I don't know. He's not getting no sleep throughout that whole process. Like, could you imagine?
That's facts.
Could you imagine having to do all of that? Like that's too much. Writing, directing, music.
I just can't get over the fact of like, yo, if you just let Black people create and tell their own stories, man. You're like,
actually like a proud uncle right now.
Yeah, you seen it with Jordan Peele, bro. Like we see it with Jordan Peele when everybody just like, yo, step back, do your thing, and the artwork, the magic that comes out of it. And now we see it with The Harder They Fall. It's just like, yo, leave us alone, son. We could create and do our own thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we even seen it with Lovecraft. You know what I'm saying? Like, just let her create, and from top to finish, it was fire. I'm just happy Netflix just stepped back and was like, go ahead. They probably had it done before Netflix picked it up, low key.
That's my only gripe with it was. If I had to nitpick, it was like something like this needs to be seen on the biggest screen. It has to be seen.
Yeah, I agree.
And I love Netflix for dropping it. But I think Netflix, it's not on him. I think Netflix needs to find the way for films like these to put them on their screen or whatever. If they have their own kind of thing, they have to have their own way of putting it on the big screen.
Let me tell you.
Go ahead.
Let me tell you why I think this was the right move, right? Because where's the fan base for Black Westerns?
I was just gonna say, like, how do you
there's no fan base for Black Westerns to get people in the theaters. And
the fan base is Idris Elba, Regina King.
Listen. Yeah, that's true. But
that's the fan base.
But listen, in the world that we in right now with COVID and all that shit, those numbers wouldn't have been as good as they were on streaming, right? And those numbers would have deterred from this happening further, for this being the recognition that it's gonna get. All right, so I also wanted to talk about some little nuances that I thought was dope in the movie too. And I wanted to compare it to some other Black films that was from the perspective of white creators. Like for the biggest example that I wanted to bring up was when they introduced Regina King's character, where she's on the horse, she stops the train. The train driver, white dude coming out, about to call him the N-word, and she shoot him in the head, and was like, "Ain't no N-word." I feel like that set a tone for the whole entire movie, that there will be no N-word, and I loved it, and I think it works perfectly, because I like the idea that in this circle of people in this area just was in a space where we wasn't calling each other the N-word. Right, like there was no white people around. There was no influence from them. They wanted to be away from them and start their own shit, so that the N-word just wasn't thrown around all willy-nilly like how it would have been like in Django.
In any other Western, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So, and I feel like that's something that's not getting talked about enough. And I think that's so important when it comes to when a black person, a black creator creates art, creates work, compared to when a white creator create black film for the black community, and how we just accept it, right? It's like the whole rap music thing, right? Like, this is what they play, this is what they show, this is what they want Black people to think of themselves, and this is what it is. And then we see when we do it ourselves without their perspective, without their input, without any of their opinions, how great it is that we get out of it. And I thought that was OD powerful, that it was a white man, of course, and that it was nipped at the butt, right? Like she was not with it. Like, it doesn't matter. And they made it a point to say, if anybody else on this train decide they're gonna say the word, they're gonna get the same fate. So what was your thoughts on that?
And then just to extend off of that point, you go to the scene where they're in Maysville, in parentheses, white town, and it literally was white sand,
everything was white,
white walls, white windows,
white wood,
white everything.
White wood. Yeah.
Even the behavior of the people in the bank. You walk in a bank, every white person in there stop and look at you.
Especially going off of that, when she told him, she told him, like, yo, pull your bandanas out, see your faces. I was like, oh, that's fine. Like, I already knew what type of time she was on when she was on there. She was like, no word that starts with N better come out of this train. Mm-hmm. I think the whole point of it, and then you see the juxtaposition to that, just like when you're saying they go into the bank, when they rob the bank, it's completely white on white on white. It was so comically white. It was so overdone. Like, and it was so brightly lit. It was just like, okay, I get it, dude. Like, I get it. Like, it was like for comedic effect at some point, but it was just like I agree with it. It just feels different when it's told from a certain point of view, and
100%, son. And I love it.
And I love how they made the dialogue so ridiculous sounding from like the bank teller. She was like, you have to have an account here. Like they were exaggerating the fuck out of it, and it fits so well.
She was struggling with the gun.
What you think?
To the Mayville point with the whole white, I thought first of all, just side note, I thought something was going wrong with my TV, because I was like, it got so bright all of a sudden. I'm just like, what the hell is going on? And then I realized what they were doing. It was just like, all right, I get it. But to the lady, the teller,
that was Karen.
I thought that conversation was gonna go like completely left, and it was about to be a gun battle in the middle of the bank and all that. So I like the way it went and how it all unfolded. But it definitely, to me, it gave like that sense of like, yeah, we toting the line here, and we're gonna show you, like, this is how it is, but this is how we're gonna handle it, type of thing. That's why I took it from it. And then as far as the Regina thing, I just love the way that the way that they chose to pretty much bury the N-word in the movie. Like, we're gonna show you, yeah, it can be used here, but nah, it's not happening. Not here, and not for the rest of this movie. And then how they played it with her next line, how they tied it all together and showed you, like, look, it's not necessary, and we're not standing by this. So that definitely beautifully, I guess that would be a writing thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
definitely beautiful.
More than likely.
I personally don't have a problem with the N-word, but it's a time and a place, right? And so I think this is the right method to go approach this movie. So yeah, I wasn't mad at that. I don't know if anybody had a like as for when you think of Black people wherever they're from, I thought it was interesting, like looking at the dialects or like how everybody speaks inside of the movie. And so one of the distinct ones that comes out is Trudy. She like it's kind of a weird accent, but then when I did a little more homework on her, she was saying she was trying to capture the New Orleans this twang, but at the same time she was saying that she's well traveled, so she's not just from New Orleans. Like, so Trudy might have been from New Orleans and traveled to Texas, and so she's
she's all over.
It's still based in New Orleans, and so I like that they represent. You compare that to how Cherokee Bill talks is completely different, but they're still on the same team. So it's like I like that it was like a melting pot of Black people looking to listen to all their dialects.
I agree. I think, in my opinion, I feel like, and it could have just been because Regina King is just elite, but she's, in my opinion, she's the best actress that was on the screen at all times. I think she's the most talented out of the group. And I think she bodied her character to a whole nother level where there's no discussion of what it is she was doing or what she was trying to capture. Some of my and she has some of my favorite moments in the film, from her hair to how she got the locks at the end and then got the front braided. I felt like that's authentic to know that our hair has always been precious and used and a piece of art in itself. And I love that they didn't just give us some numeric afro or whatever the case may be. And there was some moments that I love, like when they was on the train and they was going to unlock Rufus Buck, how she just looked at the lieutenant colonel like, and I felt like that was so powerful. The whole scene, like that whole moment was so powerful. She was like, let him out, and he just giving her the key, and she looked at him like, what? And then for the idea of she's a Black woman doing that, like holding his power in this time. And then the idea of a white man, of his structure, setting free a Black man, right? Like just the idea, then when he kicks the chains and then everybody dies. And I just think that whole moment was powerful, and it just spoke wonders. Yeah, it just spoke so much from because she's all about that, from we're not saying the N-word, all the way to like, you're gonna unchain this Black man. You know what I'm saying? I just think it was dope. And I think she was probably the most powerful character throughout the whole film.
The sound effects, the music, like you said, Terrell, the part with the chains, yes, they boosted the sound so you can really feel the effects of these chains are coming off, how heavy they are. The gun hitting this nigga's face when he knocked the teeth out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Like, yo, every
that
blow, I was
you
like,
rich
Get that go, boy. Tell your mama you rich.
you feel
rich
them
now.
shot, like, bro,
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
There was so much, like, I know, like, for example, in with the gun button, I know they were using sound effects, but I know there was a Foley artist that was doing some of those sound effects, because it was like you heard bones crunching, you heard skin and tissue moving and ripping. It was just like, yo,
they put a lot of effort, a lot into it. You could tell.
The sound was on point, from, like I said, the effects to the music to everything just fits. Like it just embodied and embraced the movie so perfectly.
The violence was visceral. Like it shook you. It was like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah, like
they definitely captured it. They definitely captured the West. Like that was crazy.
The scene with Regina King, where we're stagecoach Mary they had captured her, and then they had her in a chair, and the dude was choking her out. And she was looking out the window, putting the hat on all slow, but you heard her kicking and getting choked out. I'm like,
that shit was fire.
Yeah,
and the camera work was amazing, because there was some moments where they led the story with the camera, like for example, when she was about to get choked out, they looked at the camera, jump down to her boots and see her boots struggling. Then it cuts over to the hats, and she walks over. I always love camera angles where the camera is somewhere and the actor steps into the angle, rather than the camera follow the actor move. Right, so the camera leave the action, and then you just hear what's going on, and you know what's going on, and then Regina King character steps puts on the hat, moving slow and stuff like that. I just thought the camera work was amazing. Like when they was walking through the train, getting that aerial view, that shit was fire.
I can't pronounce the cinematographer's name, but like he's like
his name is Mihai Malai Mayer.
He's fired. So he also works with the master as well, which is like so. Like I don't know if we going with it, but like it seems like we're heading to that point. Anybody want to give out their best shot, their best scene, or their best thing?
So I can't think of it. I don't know if it was the scene on the train or if it was the scene when they was in the city. I think it was the scene in the city where he had the shotgun. He was like the sniper, and it went from one side of the screen. I mean, on one side of the town,
through the scope,
all the way to the other side. Yo, that was dope. And it ended up he was in Rufus's. Rufus's room or wherever he was at.
You're talking about the dude with the green eyes, the one that he was one of the sheriff deputies that switched on the actual sheriff Wiley, I think his name. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think my favorite was probably is either the close-ups when they on the horse with Regina King and all of them. They finally get Rufus Buck out and you get these close-ups of like these are the characters, like this is the gang, like this is who the antagonists are, whatever the case may be. I enjoyed that scene. I thought that was a dope scene because to capture their emotions, their faces, I think that's always going to be hard to do. And then you got so many people that you have to do it for. I thought that was dope.
Are we rating this? We doing this?
Yeah, I'm
ready. So before we rate that, how bad do y'all think Will Smith feels knowing that this came out and he was in Wild Wild West? Talk to me.
Really?
Talk to me.
I don't think he feel bad. I think he redeemed himself.
He'll be all right.
Damn right he did.
He'll be okay.
Damn right he did.
He'll be okay.
I know he'll be all right.
What you rating it, Gills?
You going straight to me?
Yep.
Choose wisely.
No, this is the only time. No, this is the only time that he want to hear a word.
Let's get it over with.
Every other time he want to skip me, like not.
What you rating it?
Yeah, this is a certified real. Certified real.
Right.
The whole shit. Yes.
I'm certified real too. Immediately, I was ready to say certified real the first 20 minutes into the movie.
See, you doing too much. I was
gonna say certified before I even watched the movie. Like,
I was gonna say certified real, but I read the script. Like, come on, son.
Like, I wasn't even gonna put an episode out. I was just gonna put a reel that said certified real.
It's a must see.
It's a must see in pre-production. Shit,
a part of the culture and not. This is a must see film.
It really is the all-star cast. Yeah.
What's up? Yeah. So me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a certified. It just has everything. You know what I'm saying? Especially being that it is a Western and they did a phenomenal job as a Black Western. So, certified.
Terrell, you gonna fuck it up or what?
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck it up. I'm gonna give it a certified.
I thought he was gonna give it a people's choice.
I literally have no reason to give it a people's choice. This is one of those projects where you just, again, like X was saying before, you just let people create and have the freedom to do whatever and just kind of, rock with it. And everything turned out to be good. The music was good. The acting was good. Cinematography was good. Story was good. Plot was good. Overall production, everything came together and married together well. So this is a must-see. Stop watching You on Netflix, okay? Watch The Harder They Fall right now. It's fire. And with that being said, I'm going to close it out. Thank you for watching the movie review, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. Check us out on all platforms. The usual.
Watch the
YouTube,
last episode.
YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all that good stuff. And we out.
Certified real.
Hey, I'm a little excited.
You heard it here first. Certified real. Everybody.
You are now listening to Real Talk Podcast.
This is certified